On a farm in New Zealand, Henry and his best friend Tucker are having fun rounding up sheep. Henry's brother Angus cannot join them because he walks with a limp, leaving him jealous of Henry, who is their father's pride. One day, Angus kills Henry's beloved pet sheep with an axe. When Henry returns home, he hears a strange sound coming from the barn. Inside, he discovers blood dripping from the ceiling before the sheep's carcass suddenly falls in front of him.
Terrified, Henry backs away as the carcass appears to roar at him. Mrs. Mack interrupts the terrifying scene and realizes Angus was only trying to scare his brother. She then delivers even worse news. Their father has died in an accident. 15 years later, Henry returns to the family farm, but his
childhood trauma has left him terrified of sheep. When his taxi becomes surrounded by them, he nearly has a panic attack and desperately tries to call his therapist, but she cannot answer. Meanwhile, animal activists, Grant and Experience, sneak onto the farm. They discover that Angus is conducting mysterious genetic experiments involving sheep. Grant steals a container from the laboratory, unaware that it contains dangerous biological material. While escaping through the forest, Grant drops the container, and a strange creature crawls out. The creature bites his ear before eventually reaching the sheep. It attacks one of them, infecting the flock with something far more dangerous than anyone realizes. Back at the house, Mrs. Mack welcomes Henry and gives him his father's golden shears. Henry wants to leave immediately, but she convinces him to tour the farm and confront his fear. Tucker, now the farm manager, agrees to accompany him. On the way, they encounter a sheep with a bleeding nose. While Tucker investigates, Experience sneaks up and steals their rifle. She forces them to help find Grant, but Tucker quickly tricks her and takes the weapon back. Soon, the group discovers an employee's house covered in blood. The wounded sheep suddenly attacks them, forcing everyone into a room. Tucker shoots the creature several times before finally killing it, but the attack confirms that Angus's experiments have gone horribly wrong. As they escape, the sheep continue attacking. One jumps into their truck and nearly causes them to crash off a cliff. The group survives, but Henry realizes they have landed near the exact place where his father died. Meanwhile, Angus discovers that Henry has returned and goes looking for him. He encounters Grant, whose face has already begun mutating from the infection. Grant bites Angus before escaping, unknowingly infecting him as well. Tucker soon discovers that the sheep actually bit his foot. To his horror, his foot has transformed into a hoof. With the flock chasing them, Henry, Tucker, and Experience hide inside Angus's laboratory. Inside, they discover horrifying experiments, including a sheep hanging from the ceiling with its stomach open. Angus and scientist Astrid reveal that they consider these mutations agricultural science, before Astrid sedates Tucker and takes the rifle. Henry and Experience escape into the woods and eventually fall into a pit filled with the remains of failed experiments. Trapped underground, they crawl through a narrow tunnel while aggressive sheep chase them. Henry uses Experience's meditation techniques to stay calm and eventually helps her escape through a tiny opening. When a sheep follows them, Henry throws a candle at it, setting the creature on fire and allowing them to escape. They eventually reach the barn and discover that Grant has transformed into a gigantic sheep-like creature. Grant attacks Henry with incredible strength, forcing Henry and Experience to flee while trying to reason with their former friend. Meanwhile, Astrid studies Tucker's infection and injects him with a strange serum. His body violently transforms before returning to normal, proving that the infection might actually be reversible. Astrid soon discovers that the sheep have eaten her assistant. The flock surrounds her, forcing her to run into the woods. She becomes trapped in the mud, and the infected sheep finally catch up with her. At Angus's presentation, investors gather to see his genetically engineered Oldfield sheep. Angus opens the crate early and proudly reveals the creature, but its loud bleating attracts the entire infected flock. Suddenly, the sheep storm the event and attack everyone. Guests are bitten and transformed as chaos spreads throughout the farm. Angus watches in horror as his own hand begins turning into a hoof. Henry, Experience, and Mrs. Mack escape to the house, but the phone lines are down. Grant attacks Henry, who distracts the creature with food, while Mrs. Mack prepares an acupuncture technique that finally knocks him unconscious. As night falls, the sheep surround the house for shelter. Henry searches upstairs and discovers Angus with the Oldfield sheep. Angus reveals the horrifying truth. He genetically engineered the creature using DNA from himself and Henry. Henry is disgusted and considers shooting his brother, but Angus refuses to stop. Henry eventually takes the golden shears and heads toward the balcony with Mrs. Mack and Experience. They realize the survivors from the event have also transformed into sheep. Angus prepares to escape in his biplane, but Henry notices that Grant has bitten him and realizes he's infected too. Henry disguises himself with a sheepskin and walks through the flock. The infected sheep mistake him for one of them, allowing him to reach the women safely. Mrs. Mack and Experience escape in the car, while Henry stays behind. Angus begins transforming completely as he prepares his biplane. Henry confronts him in the barn, and after a brutal fight, Henry stabs him with the golden shears. Instead of dying, Angus transforms into an even more terrifying creature. Angus chases Henry outside, but the farm dog suddenly confronts him. Since Angus has become a sheep, his instincts take over, and he becomes terrified of the dog. Moments later, the biplane crashes into him and tears through his body. Just when Angus is about to attack again, Tucker arrives with the serum and injects him, returning him to human form. Tucker then gives the serum to Henry, curing his infection before the group gathers the remaining sheep. Unfortunately, there is not enough serum to cure everyone. Angus realizes there is only one thing left to do, and allows the infected sheep to devour him. Afterward, the sheep become bloated from their methane-filled gas.
Henry uses a lighter to ignite the methane, causing a massive explosion that destroys the infected flock. Sometime later, Henry is happily working on the farm, and his terrifying experience has finally cured his fear of sheep. The group also manages to cure Grant, who is horrified when he remembers eating a rabbit while infected. Later, Mrs. Mack offers Experience a strange snack, and she happily takes a bite, before learning that they are actually sheep testicles.